All right, guys. Welcome to day 2 of silicone mold making. We're about to get into that. But first, I'm going to say this: if you're watching this now or in the future, go join the Discord. Do it. Go join it. I just figured everything out for Discord, so go join it. Share your artwork. I'm a big fan of IRL work, but we do have some digital channels. You can drop some of your digital work if that's what you're into. Whether it be illustration or even digital sculpting like ZBrush and things along those lines. All right, I'm also going to test my alerts. Let's test them. Channel points, sure. We'll test this one. It's usually a quieter one. Test the browser source.
That is one big pile of shit.
See that? I'm not hearing that. You guys heard it. I'm not hearing it. Sound alerts. Monitor off. Wait a minute. Monitor and output close. Let's try it again. We'll do channel points. Extension predator laugh. 500 bits. Let's do some bits. We'll do boomstick. How about that, guys? We'll test that one.
See this? This is my boomstick!
That worked. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do everyone. Only your... Wait. Everyone can play this. Okay. It was really quiet for me. I don't know if it was quiet for you guys. Let's try this one more time. Let's try this one.
Dylan! You son of a bitch!
It's always something, right? Sorry about that, guys. There we go. There's that. We're getting this figured out one way or the other, guys. We're doing it, okay? I'm gonna keep mine up. I don't know. If I get too loud, then I'm popping, but, Cool. All right, let's do this. So... You guys already know you got to go join the Discord, so you know what you're waiting for. Are you serious? Oh, wait, story, sorry. Here we go. Damn, why does it always do this? I'll tell you, I just can't win, guys. I just can't win. You guys can take a look at the Armsy for a little bit here. Here we go. Really great movie that my wife and I watched last night, or show. Totally worth checking out. I can't remember what it's called. It's called like The Girl Next Door Across the Street from the Woman in the Window or something like that. It was actually pretty funny. It was odd. But there's a really great fight scene between a fully grown woman, a fully grown woman and a little girl. That's pretty hilarious. I probably just spoiled it, so just FYI. Maybe I should have put spoiler alert in the stream title. Making sure this fucking thing is uploading. Yesterday we had some issues with that. There was no bueno. We're getting to it shortly, guys. One of these days, I'm going to get someone who just posts this shit to my social media for me. That'd be pretty awesome. I wish Twitch would settle on some very specific rules, like, you know, can you listen to game soundtracks on your stream? Because when I look it up, the general idea is no, you can't. But you know you can. Everyone fucking does. I just want to play within your rules, Twitch. Help me out, okay? Help me out. Also, I don't know if Lagged Out's going to show up. He was probably working all night, but I'm going to have to give him a hard time, man. I don't think we got to see any behind-the-scenes photos or anything like that of him in elf clothing. Everything, I think, is working. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into this, guys. Everyone else is just going to have to be sad that they missed out on the fun silicone here. So, actually put that together. So, we'll do the small one first, I think. Got some fuzzy. We got some fuzzy blues in the background, which makes me pretty happy. So, all right, so here's the dealio. Just like yesterday, we're going to use V340, which is mold making platinum grade silicone. This is the base. I actually wrote on the cup this time. It's 265 grams. I think I ended up doing 10% would have been 26.5 grams, but being that I'll lose some to the cup, I'm pretty sure I did like 27 or 28 grams of catalyst here. The same blue catalyst we used yesterday. However, after we mix the catalyst into here, we're going to end up adding some of this. And let's see if I can show you guys this stuff here. I'm trying to think of the best way to show you. It's pretty thick, but it's a thixotropic. It's an additive that you add to silicone to thicken it up. So, it actually smells pretty crazy too. It's not a super strong smell. It's a really mild smell, and I wouldn't say that it's like caustic or anything, but like it's almost kind of sweet smelling, which may be good or bad because it reminds me of anyone who's ever messed around with any polyurethane foams will know what I'm talking about. Some polyurethane foams are known as cold foams will actually be a little like you shouldn't breathe them in. But I don't think this is the same stuff, but it has a very similar smell. But it's a thixotropic, it's going to allow us to thicken this up. But the first thing we have to do is mix this into here. If you guys remember, like yesterday, like I said, this has like a 12-hour cure time. So we have lots of opportunity to work with it. So we got time to mess around with it. So I'm going to get some gloves on. This is going to be probably a little bit more messy than it was yesterday. And I might cut this down. I didn't know how much space I was going to need. So I might cut that cup down a little bit. But you'll see what I'm talking about once I add it. And I did bring a power mixer in this time. Just because this stuff, once that thixotropic gets in there, it's very thick, so... let's see here. It's wigging me out that my camera's all cattywampus here. Hold on. Okay, so I guess let's make sure that I'm properly focused here. Or not. You know what I might do, actually? I know, fuck it. We just need to make sure that we're... Yeah, sure, let's use my vape juice here to make sure we're focused in. So we're going to mix this in. Where's my stir-stirs? Remember, we're going to try and get as much out of this cup just like we did yesterday. Hello, hello. Coolidge Witch, what's going on? Like I said, I did add about a gram or two more than I actually needed from the catalyst, because you always do just end up with just extra in the cup that you can, without maybe like a silicone spatula, you can just never get out. So more taffy molds. Oh, you're gonna love that. If you thought yesterday was taffy molds, wait till today. We got we're adding some thickening agents to it. So all right, that's about all we're gonna get, but I can show you what I was kind of talking about. Again, just leftover. The SM is just for small. I wrote them. I made kind of a large batch and a small batch because we have two different kind of molds we have to work on today. So one of them is smaller than the other. So like I said, we are going to mix this together now. And you know what? I can use that same time compressor. Important to make sure that you scrape the sides. Really scrape the bottom too. We can check. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some white goo on the bottom. See that? Still white down there. So let's really scrape the bottom. Show you guys kind of what's going on here. So that you can see this stuff is very like it's thick, but it's still liquidy, right? And digging these tunes reminds me of driving through the desert. Yeah, I put on what did I pick? I picked blues and rock, so I think all of them, and there's not a huge selection, so we'll probably have to switch playlists at some point, but I picked I was like, oh, some bluesy rock would be fun. Let's check the bottom again. Lot better. For this, yeah, I am going to change this to autofocus for now. Autofocus continue. Yeah, there we go. For sculpting stuff up close, I can totally see why I would want the manual focus, but for this, we'll be moving around a lot, so we're just going to mix it again really quick. Go. Again, I'm going to keep this around just in case. As you guys can see here, it's still pretty liquidy, right? Great if you were pouring this, right? We're not going to pour it. We want to be able to spatulate it on. Now, if you go onto any of these websites, they'll give you exact measurements to use for any kind of modifiers like we're about to use with this stuff right here. But I kind of do it by sight. I think it's supposed to be like 0.5% of whatever your base total is. But don't quote me on that. But as you can see, this will be enough for both this and the other one that we have. So hold on. You'll see how much I add here. It's very little. Very little. You can barely see it. It's so clear. But you definitely want to, you don't have to, but I'm just going to say, you definitely want to mix in your catalyst before you add your thixotropic. Because once this starts to thicken, it's going to be really hard to evenly mix in your catalyst, which needs to be mixed in really well. So here you go. There's that. Remember, you guys are going to have to try and remember what this is kind of looks like, because we're about to change it pretty significantly. So yeah, we're just going to use a DeWalt drill with a mixer on it. I suggest if you guys have never used one of these, this is a lifesaver. It works a lot. Now again, if you were doing something where you were pouring this, you'd want to use a degasser. We're not going to use a degasser today. for this. It kind of defeats the purpose. But if you ever can, try and always degas your silicone. Trying to degas a thickened silicone is pretty pointless. Not gonna lie. Trying to show you guys the best way here. And then I'll bunch the thing nice and neat. See how it's kind of staying? See how it's staying now? It's like slowly moving, but barely. Makes it a little bit more sculpted. We're going to kick the speed up on this just to make sure it gets really mixed well. Just going to number 2 there. See, there we go. Oh wow. Pretty sure this means I busted through the plastic cup. That's okay. Another thing to keep in mind too is that adding anything other than catalyst or an accelerator to, well, an accelerator, there's a rule. Every time you add anything to the silicone base that's not supposed to be part of it, i.e. an accelerator, you will always affect the final product. An accelerator will end up, there's little cuts there, you can see, destroyed it. That's fine, it's not going to leak. An accelerator, the result of silicone will be slightly more brittle than it would have been otherwise. Same is true with too much retardant or too much Thivex. However, if you use Thivex is kind of an inert additive where it does modify the physical properties once it's cured. Yo, Turtle, what's going on, dude? Accelerator. Damn near killed her. Exactly. So the accelerant will obviously force the cure time. A retardant will slow down the cure time. And then a thixotropic will thicken it, but it inadvertently slows down the cure time ever so slightly. So adding a retardant, I didn't call you that. I called the silicone that. Adding a retardant will slow down the silicone, but you'd have to add a ton of it for it to mess with the properties of the finally cured silicone. But as you can see, we're thick now. So the same material, if you look here, we started with this type of material here, right? Which is still thick, but it does move. Never go full retardant. Exactly, it still moves, right? This stuff, like, it's not going anywhere. It's super thick. It's literally sculptable. So that's what we're gonna use. How's your weekend going, Turtle? Hopefully better after the other night. Hopefully you're feeling a bit better. Again, you don't have to wear gloves. Platinum silicone is safe for you. The only reason I do it is I don't like getting all oily. So yeah, this just keeps my hands clean from all the oil. Okay, so this mix was for this mold, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to paint some on this here. I can see well enough to see your face again, so it's good. I guess it's good and bad. That's very true. Wait, I don't know. Well, the other stream the other night was everything a little out of focus for you? So yesterday, you guys might remember, right? This was all liquid and gooey and falling all over the place. They're fully cured now. These areas are the ball bearings sticking up. This is that clay, like reservoir wall we built. So we're gonna brush this on, and then we're gonna start kind of sculpting with it to thicken up this silicone area. It's a really common method for when you want to mold something out of silicone, but you don't want to waste silicone. Imagine if you had built a box around this to fill it up to here, you'd be using way more silicone than I'm going to be using here because I can control how thick it is in certain parts. So you fucked yourself over. Nah, you're good. You're good. What happened? Chip brushes, they're the way to go. These are like where we buy them from, they end up being like 15 cents a pop because we buy a large quantity of them. But if you guys ever need really cheap disposable brushes, do it up. You know, a better day by keeping everything dim and lights low. Cool. Oh, and I have mixed emotions about you watching my stream because technically I feel like screen time is bad, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at it. You guys go ahead and see what this is all about. See, it's not going anywhere, right? I have to redraw my banner because it won't fit into the Twitch banner. Damn. So like I said, we're just gonna... Painting with this thick of silicone is wildly difficult because it's just too fucking thick. So, FYI. You have to put some pretty even pressure on it. And it's not going to be smooth. It's going to pick up all your brush strokes. You might notice I'll get like little tiny versions of, little tiny hairs inside the silicone, but it really doesn't matter. This layer won't even, you won't ever access this layer. From the inside of the mold, you'll have access to the first thin layer we put down, and from the outside, it's going to be covered in fiberglass, so it really doesn't matter. As always, mixed emotions about watching your stream too. Yeah, well, you know what? I was trying to be nice, but fuck that. We're going back to mean now. Can't you just, Sticks, can't you just, shrink, so, you know, go back into the file and just kind of shrink down some of the icons and stuff, and you're good, right? So you do it. See, I'm not really painting on with a lot of pressure. I'm kind of dabbing this thicker stuff on now. And there's going to be air bubbles in this mix either way, but you really want to avoid any big ones that could lead to a weak point. So you have that nice skin on the top, right? You don't want there to be a point where there's such a bad air bubble where if you push that skin from the inside, it just collapses. You know, that would be a bad thing for those of you fuzzy on the whole good bad. But we're gonna do one at a time because I don't know if this mix would be enough for both of them. It might be too much for this one, but probably not enough to completely finish the other one too. Once this layer actually cures, we'll go around and use an X-Acto blade and just trim up the excess that we don't need. But see, unlike yesterday, it's not obviously falling all over the place. It's not going to settle down. Pretty much the way I leave it. If I leave that little spike I just put right there, it's just going to leave it. Expect this kind of like beachy, you know, Havana Nights type of music to be on this playlist. I'm making it looks like a long heart cotton candy brand. It's a cotton candy brand. Now these are the limbs, dude. The limbs to the Armsy. So we're just molding them. We poured on the goo yesterday. Now we're reinforcing it with thicker goo today. What you got cooking today, Turtle? You can probably tell why it's so important that we did that splash coat yesterday, because this would just be too thick. It would just create a ton of air bubbles while we were trying to, if we were trying to just use only this stuff to get the detail of the Armsy limb. You could do a classic matrix mold too, like we did on the life cast, where you determine the thickness of all the silicone by how the clay goes on. That just takes a lot longer to do. This is a faster method for the same effect. Animating an owl with glow sticks at a rave. The usual. Oh, nice. Sounds like a nice party owl. The only good type of owl is a party owl. It does look like a kidney, doesn't it? This area up here, this is still the pour spout, but you still want the silicone to be pretty thick around the pour spout, being that we're going to be casting this in plastic. So you don't want the pour spout to be, you know, fiberglass. So who don't know who I don't know who. Nice. owl jokes. I should have seen that coming. Turtle, you all prepped for Christmas, man? All your Christmas shopping done? All right, now I'm just convinced that this is the soundtrack to Third Rock from the Sun. Whoa. Yo, dude! Again with the raid, man. Thank you. How's your undead head going? Or your dead head? How's that going, man? I'm actually making my dad a custom Christmas gift. That's dope. Hanging up 3D print of Gore. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Sorry I had no viewers to raid with, dude. No worries. The fact that you even show up to hang out, I appreciate. So, no worries. All right. Slowly working on the wrinkles. Yeah. Wrinkles, man. Definitely, I think the more fun thing to work on is wrinkles. But they also, you know, if you don't nail them, they always can look really wonky. I seem to have estimated the silicone used for this mold pretty well, so hopefully that means on the next one I also did it well. Finishing another mold. How much more to go? Dude, all of it. I have so much to go. Viewers are overrated. Get in the way of the art. That's so true. And just end up making bad owl puns. I have so much to go, man. This is really just the first side of 2 molds. 2 of 12 molds. So we have a long way to go. But I need the ball bearings. I used a lot of ball bearings on these, so I have to finish these ones before I finish building the walls up for the other ones. Actually get to do one of my favorite tricks here in a second once we get the bulk of this down. I always try and keep the silicone, the thickness all the way up to the edge wherever I'm going to cut, because you ideally don't want the silicone to be, say, really thick right here and then taper to a completely smooth edge. It's not going to work. Owlful puns? Oh my god. Yeah, you guys will get along perfectly. As long as we make our fiberglass part really nice, we should be okay. This is pretty narrow for a fiberglass flange right here, but if we use bolts, we'll be golden. And then you guys can see how much I used. Aww. Silicone on the mic soft, nice. You'll see there's still quite a bit in there, honestly. We probably could move on to this one, but it's definitely not enough to finish that one, and I don't want to use two separate types of mixed silicone for it, so. Okay, so we're gonna see the best method. I'm either gonna use my brush or my finger, but it'll be pretty cool either way. So you can see obviously that there's like high points and pits and valleys. If you've ever messed around with fiberglass molds, it's better to have a smooth transition and a smooth surface to tap fiberglass over. So when this cures, it'll all be, just as rigid as this other silicone. So we want to do our best to kind of smooth it out right now. There's a couple ways to go about doing that. The one I like is using alcohol, so that's what we're gonna do. Where is the... So what I do is I first get some alcohol in my fingers. See, it doesn't come off on your finger, and the alcohol evaporates pretty quickly, and it doesn't hurt the silicone. If you use too much, I'm sure it would, but just doing this will allow me to kind of pat down without getting the silicone on my finger. I might be able to show you what it would look like. So like if I were to pat, let me zoom in real quick. With no alcohol, I too usually go for alcohol or just one more layer with the minimal amount. Oh yeah, that'll work, yeah. So if I were to tap with no alcohol, it comes off on my finger. The alcohol acts as like almost like a release agent. Some silicones, then again, I'm pretty sure if you just leave it long enough, it'll fully cure. Some, like even this silicone might get a little tacky because of this treatment. But again, this is on the inside, or be on the inside of the mold that we're making. So really, it's not the end of the world. Again, the alcohol will evaporate pretty quick. So it's easy to be doing this method and then realize, oh shit, I don't have alcohol on the surface anymore, and then your finger starts picking up the silicone again. And I'm touching very lightly because obviously, I mean, it is silicone, it is thickened, but it's not hard. It's very soft and squishy. It's got a little less form than maybe like peanut butter. It's a little like softer and squishier than even peanut butter is, so. And again, we will be able to go back through and use an X-Acto blade to trim off areas we don't like. if need be. Before we tap the fiberglass. You know, doing a matrix mold would have a classic matrix mold would make this look really cool with the different grid work and things like that. But it also takes, you know, it just takes a little bit more time that I'm really not willing to put in, since I spend so much time building my walls and whatnot. I think water would, no, water, you could use water for this, but the problem is that water beads up on silicone, where alcohol will kind of hang out. It won't completely disappear. Just looking around. We're almost done with this. Flip it over and look on the other side. Clean up some of this excessive alcohol that's flying all over the place. You could use a brush too. I might. I don't know. Problem with a brush is that it will, even with the alcohol, will leave brush strokes behind, which might be good if you're trying to really make sure that silicone isn't leaving your fiberglass jacket. That might be a useful thing. I'm going to try actually to use, I don't know if it's going to work, we'll see. And try and use a tongue depressor. Been a while since I've done this, I'm pretty sure I can do it. It's kind of working. I think kind of being the operative word there. If I had like a plastic tongue depressor, I think it would work even better. A wooden one still kind of holds some texture that might act as something that wants to grab it. Again, you can be kind of as anal retentive as you want. You wouldn't even have had to have done this. You could have just tapped fiberglass on what we saw earlier. It really, I mean, it's not the end of the world. That's what happens when you push too hard. Another trick you could do is wait for the silicone to start curing a little bit more before you do this. Remember yesterday when we were doing it, I think it was still... I would never call you anything, Turbo. Never, ever. It took like 2 hours to get it to be where it had to be, so... remember, really long cure time for this particular silicone. which is fine. Gives us a lot more time to mess around with it. And I don't mind that, but if you are in a rush, you definitely would probably want to use a much faster cure silicone than what I'm using. I might do... So I'll also go in with a ribbon tool when this is cured. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do this on stream, so I'll just kind of explain it. A ribbon tool is basically a really sharp tool that I can use to cut in keys. It'll just carve out a little trench, basically. You could also have cured silicone and put little keys in it if you wanted to. If you had a cured chunk of silicone, you could cut up key shapes and stick them in. Not even friend. I would call you a friend, and I would call you a turtle. I might even call you a turtle friend. I'm afraid that's as far as it goes. Damn it. Again, platinum, silicone, and alcohol generally get along. I might even be pushing the extent to which they get along here, but so don't, if you do this method, something that might happen is some slight inhibition on this top layer when it's fully cured. It might be a bit sticky, but it won't affect really anything underneath it. You'll take it. I think I'm gonna leave and waste some more hours in Elden Ring. Good luck. Dude, yeah, dude, thank you so much for even stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Have fun in Elden Ring, homie. One day I'm gonna have to play that fucking game. I don't know, maybe I don't have to. I don't know, we'll see. I think they'd get me more if they do kind of what, Bethesda did to some extent, where they had Skyrim, and then came out with like Fallout 4 for the sci-fi nerds who were more into sci-fi than they were into fantasy. I think that would get me. Something like Elden Ring, but more, based in a futuristic or sci-fi realm. Play Mass Effect, you coward. Is that basically what Mass Effect is? I mean, I'm not opposed to playing Mass Effect. I also haven't had any any free time to play any games lately, so I'm wondering if I should just save up what little free time I have, bust ass now, so that when The Forest comes out, I'll be able to actually play that for a little bit. There certainly haven't been any real new games that I'm super excited to play. I was thinking about this the other day. I've always been pretty picky about the games I play that I'm really into. I feel like even you, Turtle, like you would probably, if someone asked you, you know, to play a game, you'd probably be down for it, like most games. I don't know. But I don't, the games I'm really into are pretty limited. And like top faves, very limited. Ones that I'd play again and again. When I was working at GameStop, I mean, all my coworkers would pretty much play almost any game. Whether it was sports games, fantasy games, fighting games, of course, you know, FPS, whatever, they play it all. I was always very picky. Okay, we're almost done with this, guys. Okay, hopefully I'll be able to trim this the way it needs to be, but that's pretty smooth. It's about as smooth as it's going to get. So we just have to do this other one now. Yay! Woo! Let's get some of this excess alcohol off here. Well, I couldn't be more the opposite. I'm the pickiest. Really? You seem to be really into a lot of games for being really picky. I'm nearly 10 plus years old because it's so rare for a new one. Been waiting for something new ever since For Honor and Smite. Did you end up playing the new God of War? Or are you not a God of War fan, man? I know that that did make a lot of people happy. I still haven't played it, and I want to. If I could do it, if I knew that I could get it done in maybe one sitting or something, I'd probably give it a go and just take a Saturday off and do it up. But I doubt I could sit still long enough to do that. I want this to evaporate a little bit, but I also don't want to use up all the food. I got a PS5 bundle. Oh, did you really? But I'm not allowed to touch it till Christmas. That's nice, man. I have mixed emotions. You have to let me know how you like it. There's not a single game that I'm aware of that I'm interested in playing for the PS5. We're on to a new game basically every week. Give me so much shit. Yeah. Whatever flavor of the month, yeah. I'd still be playing Smite and For Honor. Yeah, I'm probably always going to disagree with you on the For Honor thing. Well, no, it's a good game, actually. Just me personally feel to have fun with that game. There's a handful of games, it sounds stupid. There's a handful of games where you don't have to be great at them to have a good time. You can be mediocre at them to have a good time. For Honor is not one of those games. I feel like you got to be good to enjoy yourself, to enjoy playing it. I love the graphics. I thought the mechanics were really cool. I just couldn't wrap my head around them. And so I failed miserably many, many, many times. I wonder if I can... How do I want to do this here? There we go. Okay, let's actually... Shit. Let's move this up, mix out the other stuff. Or mix up the next batch. Which is... Blep and blep. It is miserable if you're not Able to be competitive, yeah. I don't know. Is that really... Because For Honor doesn't really have like an offline mode, right? So, for example, take a fighting game. Take like Mortal... it's a different type of game, but still Mortal Kombat. You can play that shit on fucking, what is it, child mode or whatever, where you can just kick the ass of AIs left and right. You won't be able to play online at all. You'll get your ass wiped. But I think For Honor is only online, right? So you're just It does. It has arcade mode now and AI. Oh, no shit. Can you set them to be like easily defeated? Because I'd be down for that. If you could do that. You can set the bot levels. Fuck yeah. That'd be pretty dope. Level 1 through 3. Yeah. I could probably get away with it with level 1. I did okay. I probably sunk a good... I mean, it's just probably nothing to you, but I probably did sink like a good 30 or 40 hours into that game. But then I always was like, I don't remember the ranking system, but I do remember always pretty much ranking like the lowest. It was pretty sad. It was a sad state of affairs. It's brain dead. Level 3 is basically a player that has never stopped playing since release date. Yeah, right? 1 through 3, and that's all you get. All right, let's do it. So same thing, guys. We're going to mix up this first, and then we're going to add the thixotropic additive. I want to do this. So I'm going to add it like this. Yeah, let's add it like this. Sometimes it turns out to have to be a level 3 bot filling it. Oh, did they start that? So if someone doesn't, if you don't have a full team, they just fill it with bots. Well, is that how they did it before? I don't remember. It's been a grip since I've played it. I remember all the basic, military or your average infantry guys or whatever were bots, obviously. It's crossplay now. Oh, no shit. Well, what? Was it on both systems? It was. It was on Xbox. It was on PlayStation. Is it also on PC? I don't know. That was PC. Oh, there we go. Shit on poor console folks. Locked at 30 FPS. Yeah. All right, but that's not true with the PS5, right? The whole PS5 and new Xbox gens, those aren't locked at 30 FPS, are they? They can't be. Surely there's been upgrades. It's fine. Xbox, I believe, run fine. Yeah. Yeah, this whole banner is going to need a redo. Really? That's what I was saying earlier when you popped in. You can't just fucking go back to your layers and resize. second sticks. Ah! Oh shit. Oh. That's for Twitch? You're trying to fit it into a Twitch banner? That's the size for Twitch? But I played a bit on PS4 and I couldn't believe the difference the frame unit makes. Well, okay, here's the thing about the frame though. I'm pretty sure, I think with For Honor is really important. Because there's a lot of, fuck, what is it called? Like, is it called QuickTime events or whatever? Where you have to be faster than the competitor on hitting a certain button to go into like a parry or something like that, right? I didn't realize the Twitch banners were so fucking thin. Now that I think about it, it is probably right. Trying to scrape the bottom of the cup. What they call their system, but it is like QuickTime. But you have to match the direction. Oh, that's right, the direction too. One of the things that annoyed me. So yeah, we still got to get the center. Playing on console cuts out that. Really? Weird. Yeah, I suck at that part. That was definitely my failure as a player. Never nailing that down. God, this stuff is so thick it starts to really fucking work your hand out here. I posted in Discord, there's a Killer Clowns game coming out that I'm excited about. There's some game that's been being worked on since, I think, 2012. That's a Puppet Master game based upon the old horror movies. I'm pretty excited about that one, even though it probably will be pretty janky. I'm going to give that a go, too. Yeah, only since I jumped onto PC. I can't stand the jank of indie stuff. Well, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Like, would we consider... Do you consider the Forest? The Forest is an indie game, right? You would consider that, right? I feel like not now. I mean, it did get major release on, like, PlayStation and stuff, but... I consider that extremely jank. Well, yeah, minus the turtle killing. I'm saying in general. So you only play AAA released games? That's not, well... And art direction stuff, okay. Same with Arc. Ooh, I don't know if I would consider Arc an indie game. Well, maybe. In design and style, but... Then how, excuse me, then could you... Why wouldn't you consider something like Minecraft indie, or at least when it came out? Let me ask you this. Can a game rise out of its indiness, in your opinion, Turtle? Is it possible for a game to get released on an indie title and then rise above it to no longer be indie? I don't play Minecraft. Oh, you do consider Minecraft to be indie as well? Huh. All right, sure. I don't know that I completely disagree. Yo, Zenith137, thank you so much for the follow. Zenith, how is your Sunday going? Hopefully it's chill and relaxing. Higher end indie games like Hades. I'm not familiar with Hades. Are you gonna focus, camera? What's the deal? See how that disappears so quick, but we don't need that much. The thixotropic. Just can't play ones that look like they were made with pre-made assets. Oh, that's whatever. That's most games nowadays. I'm pretty sure even major releases use a ton of pre-made assets. So Phasmophobia, you would consider indie. So, okay, I guess this is what I'm saying. You consider it, the release of the game, how popular it is, does not play into your decision of whether or not it's indie or not. So when I think of indie, I think of, I use the same idea for filmmaking and apply it to video games, right? So if it's released by a major production company, it's not indie. After a certain budget, I would even make an argument that it's not indie. I don't know video games as well as I do movies, so I don't know what a high budget for a video game is. Custom assets and doesn't run like hot garbage, then I'll play it. Gotcha. I'm back, but yeah, that is the size for Twitch, the optimal size. Shit. Yeah, sounds like you got to redo it. Did you do it in layers? Sticks, are there layers so you can just go in and modify those layers? You can make it work. You got this. All right, here we go again, guys. Power drill time. Whoa! Did you guys see that shit? That was awesome. In the most terrible way possible. You guys love to see this. Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was fucking epic. Hold on. You gotta see this. This is fucking awesome. Hold on. You guys see that? My poor GoPro. My poor GoPro. Not to mention my pants. Oh man. I don't know if you guys made it to my other stream yesterday where I said, oh, by the way, silicone is really difficult to get out of your clothes. A GoPro. I know, right? Where else did it go? Is that it? All right, we have some minor damage elsewhere, but I think the GoPro got the worst of it, honestly. It's salvageable, guys. It's salvageable, okay? Alright, how do I want to get all this into a new container? Okay, so we're just going to take a new cup and see if we can transfer this mess into it. Another great reason for a really long cure time on your silicone. I think this is the biggest mess I've made on stream. This definitely, this takes the cake. I'm just gonna leave that shit on my GoPro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna leave it on and just clean it up when it cures. Professional at work. What's up, Black Phillip? Perfect timing, dude. Oh my God, thank God you clipped it. That's awesome. I know I caught it at 60 FPS, so I'm gonna save that shit and do a slow-mo thing. I'm sure that would be pretty epic. Oh my God, you. It did get over, looks like there's a little bit on my keyboard, but not too bad. BP in the house. Is that V340? Yeah, dude. Wasn't even that much. I just forgot that I had upped my, I had upped the speed for the last mix. Look at this shit. Again. Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see. It's all. Oh yeah, you can't see. I'm trying to think where you can see. Yeah, it got all over my glove box too. Good news is once it's, like I said, once it cures, it'll be easier to peel off some of this other shit. I wonder how much I actually lost. Ah, really? I have lost faith in these deli containers, okay? The mic got it too. Oh shit! Oh my God, it did. Yeah, look at that. Doesn't look like it got any of the internal workings though. We'll just let it cure. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. That was all. Were you here for it, or did you come in right after it happened? Like 20 seconds before. Nice. We might have lost maybe 100 grams to my room. There's some on the carpet over there, but it's not too much. It looks like honestly, the majority of it ended up on that fucking GoPro, dude, for sure. I'm hoping we just have enough at least to do this project. He's a harbinger of disaster. Well, he's Black Phillip. I mean, the name, right? The goat, right? So, all right, fuck you, cup. All right, let's see if we can clean up some of this mess here. I got it mostly off of me. Just all the other shit I'm gonna have to clean up. Those entire setup, right? I should turn on the GoPro and see what it looks like. Actually, it didn't cover the lens at all, so. I probably should fix the phone. And they have more commissions too. You streaming today, Philip? Oh man, the mouse pad got it too. The Stream Deck though, guys. The Stream Deck made it. Oh shit, are you sick, dude? Do you have the vid? I hope you don't have the vid, man. The flu. Oh, just the... Well, flu's still shitty, but... Wait, who are you sending that to? Me or you? Or me and Turtle? Oh god, you. I'm trying to use my fucking mouse without activating the goo. Oh shit, don't rotate the wheel. Oh, okay, gotcha. Put the mouse where it's not going to do anything. Like, you know, end of my stream or anything like that. You know, interestingly enough, dude, I actually did mess around with it a little bit. Not a fan. I think I need to find the program that everyone's using. Because I messed around with one, and I thought it was really unimpressive, to be honest. So I don't know if I'm just using... I messed around with like 2 or 3. I'm guessing the really good ones are probably... you have to pay for them, right? So those ones I have not messed around with. Do you have any... No, I don't remember. I looked it up and then I was like, oh, which one, what did I do? I just did a Google search. But maybe I also don't know if I'm using it correctly. I know that sounds weird, but like maybe I'm not typing in enough stuff or too much. I don't know. Have you messed around with it? Do you have one you like? I was just going on to see how easy it was and check it out, and was confident when I found very little success in it. So I was like, fuck that. I've been finding with DALL-E 2, finding DALL-E 2 and Mid-Journey at the moment. Thinking about setting up a stable diffusion locally. I don't know. I don't know what a stable diffusion is. I was trying to find a way. There's this type of art that I like. I don't know if there's a word for it or for the style, but I like the idea of like if you had a given frame, like a given image size, and you type in, what I wanted to do was find an AI generator that I could type in, say like skulls and tentacles, and like, what else did I try? Like mosaic or something like that, because I wanted like a full frame of like random skulls and different types of skulls and different sizes intertwined with, say, like tentacles or something like that, but it filled the entire frame, something like that. So just because I couldn't get it to work for what I was doing doesn't mean other people aren't having other luck, but that's really what I wanted, and I couldn't get it to work. Runs on your system locally with your GPU instead of being cloud-based. You can train your own image sets and AI more custom. Dude, that sounds pretty fucking cool. How much I'm guessing it's not free, right? How much is it? All right, here we go. Round number 2, guys. Here we go. This time, we're gonna cut it down to 1. It's open source. Oh, really? Nice. Okay. Just takes a lot more setup, obviously, but there's already... Would you mind shooting me a message on Discord, Turtle, with like a link to where you can get it? Is what I like the best currently. It actually runs through Discord. I've not heard of Midjourney. I've heard of DALL-E 2. Wait, is DALL-E 2 the... There is one that I haven't been able to find. Is it DALL-E 2? I don't remember. But where you actually get to watch the computer thinking, like the AI working. Was that DALL-E 2? Is what I like best. One of them you get to like, it's like a video almost, right? That's Midjourney. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, see, I don't have, while I focus a lot on traditional art, I am not quite as butthurt as a lot of artists are about AI art. Mainly because, I don't know. So here's the thing. This is my opinion on AI art. 20 years ago, plus, not even 20 to 30 years ago, when computer-generated effects were a thing, everyone was saying how computer-generated effects were going to take over the effects industry and there wouldn't be physical effects anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a lot more computer-generated effects, obviously, today, but it's still really expensive to do. And you're still seeing major motion pictures coming out with a lot of physical effects. It's still happening. You know, it's like, I feel like being worried about AI art is like people being worried that like techno would take over or something. I don't see it happening. I know that there was, Kyle and I actually talked, there was this guy who apparently won like a Colorado, is it Colorado? Some state art fair or something like that, using an AI generated art. And even in concept, I'm not opposed to that. Where the issue comes in is that there was a lie. I mean, if there was AI generated art fairs, then everyone would be on the same side of things, have the same abilities. And then really you'd just be competing for whoever has the best imagination of words to come up with, right? Oh my God, dude, you just missed the biggest mess ever. I totally splashed all over the place. Dude, check this out. You're not gonna believe this. Look at this. This is my favorite part right here. Look at that. My poor GoPro. Thank you, Turtle. I will check that out for sure. Oh my God, that's fucking awesome. But I don't think AI art is gonna. I think if AI art is the only thing that's gonna happen, is it's gonna piss off and fuck with the people that aren't good artists to begin with. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it'll be as unimpactful as every other type of automation we've done. Like another example, who's I talking to about this? Like fucking 3D sculpting, like learning ZBrush and stuff. Now maybe this will change in the future, but I'm still wildly unimpressed with most 3D printers. So even if you create something, here's what they need to do for 3D design. They need to make a printer that prints in clay. If you guys can't nail something that prints in silicone yet, and I mean soft silicone, I don't mean prints in a rubber. I'm talking about an actual soft silicone that doesn't have lines, that can be painted, that you get like really awesome printing results. Maybe that's in the future and it will happen, but right now it's not where it is. And everyone was so afraid that shit would take jobs from actual sculptors, and I'm so afraid that actual artists are gonna lose out to AI art. It's like, no, man, it's not gonna happen. At least not in, very likely, my lifetime. I don't know. I did stuff like that too with resin. Oh, dude, resin. I can only imagine. So gladly agree. I've been really feeling like I'm the only artist that is excited for AI art. Yeah, I'm excited for it. But I still, like I said, doing a really basic Google search, right? Just kind of like, hey, I want to fuck around with it. And I hadn't talked to you or really anyone about any programs to use. I'm like, I'm gonna see what I can find. And I was really unhappy with all the stuff I did find. And I just had to assume, and I probably spent maybe 3 hours fucking around with it, looking at different sites and trying different things. And I was wildly unimpressed. Now I had heard of Dolly. I feel like I tried, is there another one of the ones I tried? I feel like was a Dolly, like, brother. It was somehow related to Dolly, but wasn't Dolly. I don't know. Like ownership wise, it was owned by the same company maybe or something. I don't know. Here's the Stable Diffusion Reddit, which is basically everything you need to know about how to get started and getting it set up. Again, I think for me personally, it's only going to matter if it can actually do what I want it to do. I don't know that it will be able to. Nice. Even 3D printers, man. I've seen some stuff come off 3D printers is pretty cool. But if you got an eye like I do and you're like looking at it close, you can see all the little fuck ups from 3D printers, all the weird layer lines and shit. I'm sorry, I just don't. Jesus, I'm just not super worried about it. Again, I don't know. I feel like it's like, hey, let's get worried about techno, you know? Soon people are just gonna be able to press buttons and just let it play music. The computer be thinking all for itself. Wait a minute. My first generations were awful. Well, how are you using it? I want to use it to create reference to sculpt something. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like if I really want to start doing some, not tiles. Well, I guess maybe they're like tiles, but really like relief sculpting. And this is not something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. But I fucking hate drawing. Like I can do it, but it takes me way longer than it takes an average person. I want to use an AI for me to input the kind of topics I want to be in it, whether or not it's symmetrical or not. Like, I don't know if even I'm asking for too much from the AI. I don't know. An example of mid-journey prompt, someone just use Dr. Strange as a samurai full body. Oh wow, that is a huge prompt. If you punch in something like that, I'm sure you'll get some awesome stuff. Oh, so you just have to use a ton of Jesus. For rapid prototyping, conceptual stuff at the moment. Oh, so you can just like kind of like, so if you have an idea, you just kind of input it, see with some ideas that come up. I could see it. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, it in a different way. It's similar to what I want to use it for. I have such a hot take on AI art. Well, let me guess, you hate it. All right, here we go. Before the stuff starts to cure after my massive mess, dude. I will have to clean up all this silicone tomorrow after it cures. Big yes. I don't know, man. I do think, I will say this, if I was more electronically, did I get any silicone on anything in the other direction? No, I think I'm good. If I was more electronically creative, again, meaning maybe like honestly like you guys, where I'm doing a lot of digital artwork, I might feel differently, but currently, bring it on. And here's the thing, even if it gets wildly cheap and everyone's doing it, and it's this huge thing that everyone gets involved with, and you know, artwork is starting to get sold that is exclusively or, you know, mostly AI, there still will always be a huge market likely for people like handmade artwork. It was earlier, last year or a couple years, it's been like 2 or 3 years since the whole NFT thing kicked off, and everyone was talking about how all artists are going to be working in NFTs and blah, 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 and all this, and I just, I'm sure it's still happening, and there might be people making some good money doing it, but I don't give a shit about that. Like, I really don't care. Yeah, not hating AI art. Why can't I say that shit? I think from my perspective too, until maybe I'll feel differently if AI art officially, you connect that shit to a 3D printer and AI art can just print what you want. And then, oh dude, what is that world gonna look like? You want an action figure, a very custom action figure of a famous comic book character or, a Disney character or something like that. And you have this really nice color 3D printer, which by the way, color 3D printers already exist to some extent. The commercial ones aren't that great, but you can just say, I want Venom from Spider-Man riding a skateboard at 8 inches, and you just have a 3D printer that just prints that shit out, and you try and start selling it. Man, what does that world look like? It's crazy to think about. These motherfuckers are going to get sued out the ass. My hot tech is theft. They mesh together art pieces that belong to other people pushing it. Well, okay. If you make that argument, I feel like you're really not that far away from saying that all art is theft, because I hate to say this, but going back to a very classical philosophical idea is really anything original anymore. There is no original artwork anymore. Everything is just a derivative of something else. Is AI, just because a computer's doing it's no different than the rest of us doing it, just because we're combining past skills and techniques implemented in with past composition and different formats. It's the same thing. Most of the arguments I have seen against it, just from misunderstanding the technology and how it actually works, like that too. If it was truly 100% AI and not made pieces, well, it is. I mean, like they might have fed the AI generator 10 billion. Actually, you know what's funny? They probably fed the AI generator more images than you or I could ever see in our lifetime, much less memorize and reference. Like, I'm sure that it is, it is referencing all these different artworks, but technically that makes it probably can come up with more original work than the average human could. It has more reference. I don't know, that's a pretty bold statement, I'm aware, but everything we think of doing is just referencing other shit we've already seen in our life. Basically saying AI is photoshopping, which is not true. The AI is photo bashing, which is not true. I don't know exactly how it works, but I can I'm sure it depends on the AI too, the particular program you use. But say the bigger ones, the ones that are doing really well, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find the original artwork. Whatever original artwork it's referencing, and you guys are welcome to send me something in Discord and prove me wrong, but whatever artwork it's originally referencing, I think you'd be hard-pressed to see in the artwork that it creates. Like, how is what I'm doing not just ripping something off? I put my own spin on the Armsy. It doesn't look exactly like the Armsy from the forest, but it is the Armsy from the forest. It is my reference point. Just because I'm not a computer doing it doesn't make it any more right or wrong. I was able to save it, guys, even though I sprayed my whole room down with fucking silicone. I got it back, okay? And like I said, I don't think I'd make the argument that the AI isn't you call it photo bashing or whatever. Maybe it is. I'd make the argument that so what? So what if it is? Who cares? We all are doing it. Humans do it. Every piece of artwork we create is, again, just a reference off of someone else's artwork at some other time. Even if you don't know that it is, it still is. first time I had heard of AI was they had an AI connected to an actual, some kind of like painting printer, and it recreated a painting in this style almost flawlessly of like Van Gogh or something. And I thought that was, when I first heard about it, I'm like, that's some bullshit. I was pretty upset. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, fuck it, I don't even care. I don't even like Van Gogh. Like, why do I give a shit? Oh shit. My tunes. My tunes, yo. My tunes. Let's take away blues and keep rock and do like southern rock maybe. Let's see what we got. It doesn't cut stuff from people's art and paste it together like a collage. No, I don't think it would. You need to notice and understand its individual. It depends on the AI software used. Some are cheaply made. Yeah, that I don't disagree. There might be some really cheapy ones that are absolutely just stealing shit. I wouldn't deny that at all. And then trying to recreate the recipe at home is how most AI work. And if it... Well, I'm pretty sure one of the things that attracted me to AI is you could say, correct me if I'm wrong, you could say something like, create me this image in the style of, example again, Van Gogh or something like that. And again, I don't see anything wrong with that. I wonder why. I don't know why I don't really give a shit. Maybe it's just from my perspective, how much shit we've been worried about in the past with technology, and none of it has messed with stuff. I think the most thing I'll get hyped up about technology is automation when it comes to jobs. I'll always talk about that. I'll always say, you want to be worried about something as far as computers go and technology, be worried about how the mass majority of our society will probably be losing their jobs in the next 20 to 50 years to automation, and how that will literally crumble society if we don't figure out a way to take care of those people, whether it's like a universal basic income or something like that. Like the first time that, and like I said, I think I was talking to someone else recently. I don't know if it was bullshit, but I seem to remember reading an article that Tesla had recently just run one of their longest self-driving semi-truck tests with like positive success. It's like, dude, can you imagine a bunch of pissed off truckers who all lose their jobs to robots showing up to the Capitol steps? Like, people want to get worried about something. Don't get worried about the art. Get worried about, all those entry-level, minimum wage jobs that everyone hates right now completely going away. I think that's way more terrifying. So maybe it's a perspective thing. I'm like, man, I don't even give a shit about fucking AI art. I give a shit about a bunch of robots taking over all the jobs that actually, due to taxes, actually make the company function. Did you vacuum it? No, I don't. I won't need to. I did. This is what it'll end up looking. So think about it this way, dude. It's just like a reverse matrix mold. So I'm just gonna, since it's gonna be a fiberglass shell over this, I just use thick silicone and put a shell. I could have probably done a thinner amount of silicone, honestly. But yesterday's silicone that we put on was so thin that it picked up all the detail and everything, so I won't have to actually worry about it. The minimal air bubbles we'll get from this silicone won't affect it. So I might end up in some issues with the pressure pot, maybe. We'll see. Sometimes if there's too many air bubbles, the pressure pot will shrink them and I'll have some weird air bubble issues, but even then, I'm not super concerned about it. Plus, I might end up rotocasting. I'm kind of undecided how I'll end up casting everything. I've done this before on other stuff and never seemed to give me any issues, so I used to do block molds, like just big pour molds, but I don't want to waste as much silicone. I also don't know how many of these damn things I'll ever make. So, you know, doing it this way, I get to control the amount of silicone a little bit more. I once forgot to vacuum silicone and learned the hard way. You cannot pressure cast into unvacuumed silicone. Got terrible reverse bubbles. Yeah, I've seen I've seen that happen. Yeah, it depends. I think it depends on, because I've done it before with success, but only doing it this method where the silicone, the layer you have on the base is, you know, minimal. But again, I can always just use a resin that's a slower cure time. I can rotocast. There should be ways around it. Or who knows? Maybe in a few weeks I'll be like, God damn it, I shouldn't have done that. I'm always up for learning from my mistakes. Even if you told AI to give you Starry Night by Van Gogh, the process of it deconstructing the image through noise and the style and then reconstruct it, it will be the same. Will not be the same image. So many people think you can vacuum the resin on my stream and ask me why there are resin bubbles out of the mold. I do vacuum. I vacuum. I don't know what kind of resin you guys use, but we use I've used degassing on resin. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's kind of pointless. Well, that's not true. TC 1600 will eternally degas. You cannot like ever get it to be a glass surface, but some of it you can. TC 891 from BJB, I've gotten that to degas before. You know what I want to do? I think it'd be actually a blast, and surely you can do it, is I should do this one time. I know you can. So I don't know what kind of degassers you ever mess around with, but if you could put something into a degasser and just let it cure in there, I think that'd be the best way. I prefer degassing material over using a pressure pot, actually. Pressurizing stuff freaks me out. On large open top molds with slow translucent resin, yes, but not with 10 Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of anything that prevents me from having to draw more. I will be happy. I really loathe drawing so much, and so that's probably why I'm such a big fan of AI stuff. Alright, well, we had enough. Let's see if it works here. Yeah, this, I don't even know if you can, I ever tried, you can degas silicone that you've added Fixo to. It just kind of gets wonky and a little bit pointless. But, yeah, you put it inside a vacuum chamber and it removes the air bubbles. Where pressure pots, that's another thing a lot of people don't really understand, is that pressure pots are great. But from my experience, and I'm pretty sure this is the way it works, I'm speaking from 99% certainty, pressure pots don't remove the air bubbles. A lot of people think they do. Pressure pots just make the air bubbles so small you can't see them, generally speaking. Vacuum chambers are really designed for removing the air bubbles from a mix that you're going to pour into a mold, still very common in silicone, where pressure pots are really used for stuff like this. Like this was these parts were all pressure potted before we're molding them. And it helps force the material into small areas, but then it also, any air bubbles that are there, ideally, are shrunk down. But I pressure potted stuff, it still ended up with air bubbles. It's still, if you don't have proper bleeders and things like that, you can still end up with air bubbles. You make them very small. Yeah, exactly. Less surface tension and yep, exactly. And the resin flows under. Yeah. You can still get big air bubbles in pressure pots, but they're generally, again, it's probably something you did with the mold or didn't have proper bleeders or stuff like that. So I will say the one thing I like about pressure pots is that you can get a pressure pot pretty cheaply, where degassers generally do not come very cheap. So you can make a degasser, I think, if you're pretty savvy. But the degassers we have, I mean, I want to say the whole thing, they're like $5,000. We'll use the alcohol trick in a second here, guys. We're just trying to give it some general smoothing before I decide to use the alcohol. Yeah, I need to look at some good resins soon, actually. I'm not super familiar with... I have a bunch of resin, a bunch of different types of resin, but I don't mess around. This is the first time I'll be pouring up like a character or something in resin. Usually we use it for our skulls and underskulls of the dolls we make. And I've messed around with it for eyes, but I've never had to make a model, essentially. So I'm going to have to try some different resins. I'd love to find a resin that has a really long cure time. Again, something I could maybe get away with not having to use a pressure pot, where I can just pour it in and it's got like a 12-hour cure time or something, and just tap the fuck out of the mold and you know, try and get all the air bubbles to go away that way. That would be pretty awesome. I mean, ideally you just get a perfect cast every time, but I don't know how often that happens for a lot of people. Generally, there's always some repair you have to do. So, like the Goblin, Steve, he's out of the same material that our skulls are made out of, which is called TC891. I think that's got like maybe a 15-minute cure time or something like that. Or no, a 4-hour cure time, but like a 15 or 20-minute pot life. My own pressure chamber from junk in the scrapyard. Fuck yeah, man. Pressure chambers, yeah, but I mean, making a vacuum chamber, I've been around one time. So a lot of vacuum, do I say all of them? No, not all of them. A lot of vacuum chambers have an acrylic top so you can see inside of it to make sure that whatever you're degassing doesn't like overflow or whatever during the bubble up stage. But we use our degassers a lot, and we had an old one where no one knew that there was a small fracture inside the acrylic lid, and so someone was standing right there while they were degassing something, and your face can sometimes be like right up against the glass to see the air bubbles, you know, but the pressure, or the back pressure, the suction, the vacuum, finally the acrylic top couldn't handle it and it fucking busted, and it was so fucking loud, dude. It was so fucking loud. I was not the person at the chamber. I was a good, I don't even know, I feel like I was a good almost 75 feet away, but it was inside our studio. And when that fucker went off, it sounded like someone shot, literally, someone fired off a shotgun. It was so fucking loud. And so ever since then, I watch people who make their own vacuum chambers, and I'm just like, man, good luck. Hope nothing terrible happens. I buy, you can buy these, actually, I don't know if all of them, no, you can buy some pressure pots that are just designed for resin, but you can go to Harbor Freight and pick up a basic pressure pot for like 60 bucks, buy some fittings, and the pressure pots are designed, I think, for painting on a mass scale, like painting houses and things. A couple of fittings, and that'll be good enough to pressurize your resin pieces. An exciting stream we've had with the fucking silicone flying all over the place. I'm about to have to glue this 3D print together, and I've heard epoxy resin is the way to go, but I'm going to try super glue first. My wife's pressure cooker scares the shit out of me. Probably should, man. Pressure cookers, yeah. Same idea, except those fuckers get hot too. Epoxy for putting molds together, or for like models. Yeah, I can see why epoxy would be popular. 5-minute epoxy. Here's the thing about super glue. I know people who live by super glue. I have mixed emotions about super glue. The thing is that if you have two very even surfaces that you can mesh up against one another with no negative space, I feel like super glue's your best bet. If you have two surfaces that need to stick together but they are uneven and you are going to have negative space, that's where you get yourself some epoxy or some type of resin adhesive. But super glue is really great if you have two very flat, like almost perfectly flush pieces that can just fit together like a puzzle piece, yeah. Super glue seems to work wonderful for everyone else, but I can't get this shit to work on anything. Another thing a lot of people don't know about is that there's super glue accelerators. I don't know how many people knew about this. Before I started working here, I'd never heard about it. You can buy super glue accelerant. You don't really want to get this shit on your skin, but it's because it can be kind of caustic, but it smells pretty rank too. But literally cures super glue. Like, doesn't matter what brand of super glue you have. You just spritz it on like a mist, just go pfft, and it just fucking cures it immediately. It's really fucking awesome. If you're a regular super glue user, I suggest you pick some of this shit up. It's fucking cool. Has been filled with water. Yeah. My favorite super glue now, honestly, Gorilla Glue brand super glue is pretty awesome. It's thicker. The Gorilla Glue stuff is kind of like it's almost like a gel. It's a little bit more of a gel than it is very watery like the classic super glues are. So if you're doing a lot of that stuff, the Gorilla Glue and an accelerator is really nice. I forget the stuff that I used back in the day when I was into model making. It wasn't super glue. It was specifically, it kind of came in like one of those like aluminum squeeze tubes or whatever, but it wasn't fucking super glue. I can't remember what it was. It was thicker. It wasn't as thin as a lot of super glues are. It was like an orange color label. This would have been almost, Jesus, 25 years ago though. Those moments when you actually realize how old you are can be really scary. Haven't tried it before. Wish me luck. I think you'll like it. I like it. The only glues I've ever had luck with have been hot glue or the glue for Gundam. All their glues have failed me. Yes, model glue actually works. I'm convinced all their glues are involved in some sort of global snake oil conspiracy. Yeah, my go-tos are super glue. Okay, so we actually have this really fucking badass glue that we use. I don't know how expensive it is. I want to say it's like 12 bucks. You have to keep it refrigerated though, and you have to buy a gun for it. It's a Loctite brand glue, and I'm pretty sure it has a monomer acrylic base. It's called like, there's a number for it. If you're ever interested in it, and man, it makes almost every other glue stupid. You can glue metal to plastic. You can glue like plastic to fucking glass. Like this shit is, I think it literally eats away at a ton of stuff, but it smells like, have you ever been in a nail salon? It has that monomer smell, but it's got two tubes, kind of like imagine two small caulking tubes that are like bolted together. You got to buy a gun for it, and you can squeeze it out and it squirts them out in equal parts, and you got to mix it together. So it's similar to 5-minute epoxy in that fashion, but goddamn does it work well. Yeah, you don't have to keep it in the freezer. You just got to keep it in the fridge. And even then, once you pop it open, as long as you keep it in the fridge, I'm sure it extends the lifetime of it. But even then, like once it's open, it only you'll only be able to use it for so long. But otherwise, I would say, you know, my go-to usually is just good old-fashioned 5-minute epoxy, or a combination of 5-minute epoxy with like a 2-part, what's it called? Epoxy putty. I love me some epoxy putty. That shit works really well. But for my goblin, to help fix its seams, I think I ended up using the resin that actually that I made the goblin out of, with Cabasil mixed into it, so it thickened it up and I could actually kind of sculpt with it. Similar to how Thivex or a Thixotropic added to silicone can thicken it up, you can use Cabasil in pretty much anything to thicken it up a little bit. And also, because I'm just trying to keep pimping it out, guys, if anyone watching who hasn't joined the Discord, go join the Discord. Do it. It'll be good for you. It's the answer to all your problems, I promise. Might create some new ones, but it'll answer some of them. I think we might actually use the alcohol with the brush on this one. I have used everything together, Turtle. I've literally used like epoxy putty with 5-minute epoxy before. But like I said, I only fuck around with super glue if I have two very flat surfaces that I can stick together. I won't mess around with really anything else other than 5-minute epoxy if I can avoid it. Where are my chip brushes? Glitch, did you see my explosion of silicone extravaganza that happened about 40 minutes ago or so? Turned this process into a much longer process. I think Black Phillip was able to clip it on Twitch, so it's in the clips. Did I need it? With I need my beard? That's my other fear. No, beard's good. Okay, good. For now. I'll go home and find out that I have like a giant piece of blue silicone in my mustache or something like that. There it is. There it is. This might actually help with it sticking in the fiberglass a little bit more. Yeah, usually it's 2 tubes. The 5-minute epoxy comes in like, yeah, 2 different tubes. A red one and like they're usually color-coded red and black. JB Weld's one isn't bad. I'm trying to remember if there's any other brands. I recently have only been using the JB Weld brand, so I don't remember. There's another brand I used. Oh, you're right. Some of the 5-minute epoxies do come in one of those like little dual syringes. I forgot about that. But you can get larger kits where you get like a big old tube, like 2 big old like squirt bottle, like squirt bottles, I guess. I don't know, not spritzer bottles. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna try something else. I don't know if I can get a smoother effect if I use like a smoother brush. Yeah, nice. So another advantage of having a really nice smooth silicone is because if you ever need to remake the jackets, if you have the masters, if you have the outside plastic or the outside fiberglass and you have the masters, you can always put the master back in one side of the mold, remove the silicone jacket from the other side, and re-pour it for if your mold is, if you're using your mold a ton where it's just going bad, you can always remake one side or the other, as long as you have the master sculpt which I in this case do because all these sculpts are all not clay inside, it's plastic inside. I don't have much epoxy experience, sadly. What are you trying to glue together? You said some 3D printed shit, right? Really, I would imagine almost any epoxy should work, dude. Or does it just go to Home Depot and... Hell, I feel like even like a grocery store might have some of that shit. You're gluing together a 3D printed piece, right? Like a 3D printed sculpture or something like that, Turtle? Yeah, I just glue his arms onto this torso. So 4 pieces, okay. Is this something you 3D printed or you got 3D printed? Yeah, so it's not going to be as shiny as this one is, but it'll work. Cyanoacrylics? Hell, that's a new word to me. What's cyanoacrylic? I'm looking that shit up. I'm stealing this word. You know, oh, super glue. God damn it. Oh my god. I did not. Is that its technical name? Our family is strong fasting adhesive with industrial, medical, and household uses. They are derived from ethyl. Oh, that makes so much fucking sense. Okay, I didn't actually know much about them. It's in the monomer family. That makes sense. Okay, rapidly polymerizes in the presence of water. Interesting. Rapidly polymerizes in the presence of water to form long, strong chains. You know, that makes sense because wasn't it super glue? I don't know if it was designed for it, but there was like at least a rumor going around that super glue was designed to treat wounds. And you ever notice how it dries on your fingers better than anything else? There's a few silicones, like acetoxy silicones, that actually cure in the presence of water molecules. So if you actually increase the humidity while you're working with some silicones, again, acetoxy based, they'll actually cure faster. But it looks like, yeah, the cyanoacrylate, I think I'm saying it right. Cyanoacrylate. Acrylate, probably. No, it is. Acrylate, yeah, group in the monomer rapidly polymerizes in the presence of water. That's so fucking cool. Hot tub is jacuzzi, right? And it failed me again. Super Glue is a brand that overtook the entire name, yeah. Is the whole group of glues. Gotcha. Today learned. Yeah, I actually didn't know that, but it makes sense. Super glue cures on your fingers so fast because the body has so much moisture in it. I don't know if it would work. Dude, I'm tempted now. I wonder if super glue would actually function faster underwater. Like I was saying, if you have super glue accelerant, I wonder what the accelerant is. Oh! I bet the accelerant's probably mainly more monomer based. Recommendations. Just trying to sound smart with fancy scientific name. I love learning. Chemistry is a big... I love learning chemistry related stuff, especially about silicones. What was the... there was a silicone problem that we had here at work, and we were able to figure it out with some basic chemistry. It was pretty awesome, actually. God. What was the gas? So there's actually, I was talking about it earlier. You can use silicone retardants to slow down the curing of silicone if you need it to go, if you need to like have it not cure as quickly. What's interesting is the thing that they put inside a lot of silicone retardants, when in the presence of, again, this is kind of fascinating, in the presence of water molecules, will actually create hydrogen gas. So if you have any water like residue inside your mold for any reason, maybe you cleaned your mold and it wasn't fully dry or anything like that, you'll actually create hydrogen gas with some of the retardants that exist out there. And that's what was happening to us. The molds weren't getting dried out enough after cleaning, and products were coming out with a ton of air bubbles in them. And at first we just thought they were air bubbles, but as soon as I started doing some research, I found out that it was actually hydrogen bubbles. And you could literally, I would never suggest doing this, of course, but you actually, I proved it by lighting them on fire, and they literally, the air bubbles inside the silicone would explode. It was pretty cool. Super glue accelerant is acetone. The stuff we're using does not. Well, wait a minute, doesn't acetone's what you can clean super glue with. I'm not going to disagree with you. The stuff we have does not smell like acetone, though. Glues for use in my aquariums because it cures so well with water. I'm going to try and super glue something together underwater. I'm going to do it. I want to see if it works. So wait, have you used acetone as a super glue accelerant? I've only ever used super glue accelerant. And even then, like I said, until I started working here, I didn't even know that you could accelerate super glue. Thanks, mic stand. It's acetone plus some chemical that accelerates. Okay, acetone is there to keep the accelerant in solution. Oh, so it's I should wait for that. Not substrate. It's that word. I know what you're talking about. And it evaporates quickly. The flash rate of acetone is pretty high, that's true. You know what causes the bubbles that foam around the propeller of a submarine? It's like 99% acetone and the accelerant. I know, but it's 1%. I wonder what the accelerant is. Is it monomer? I bet you it's straight up monomer. I do not. I'm guessing that's air, right? Air bubbles around the turbines. No. You're welcome to tell me. You're going to keep me in suspense, Turtle? What is it? But where's the air coming from? Is the sub leaking? I feel like this is a really simple answer, but I can't think of what it is. I don't know. Where's the air coming from? You got me, dude. Where's the air coming from? I guess I always just was like, oh yeah, you know, if you put a mixer inside water, a bunch of air bubbles come, right? So, all right, so it's spinning. The propellers are spinning in the water. Oh, I never wondered about what is active substance in the accelerant. This is the type of shit I wonder about. And that's why subs leave bubble trails. Wait a minute. It's actually the water boiling around the prop because of the pressure. Oh, that is true. Okay. And that's why subs leave bubble trails when there shouldn't be any. You're saying the pressure from the literal propeller moving through the water? That's fascinating. I did not know that. Are the subs leaking? Yeah, exactly. I don't... Oh, man, I just did the thing I didn't want to do. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to mess around with some super glue and some acetone. I wonder why acetone by itself then work. Would acetone by itself work as an accelerant just because it would thin out the super glue? Could you use acetone all by itself as an actual accelerant? Or does it have to have that other factor at play? Because you think if it did evaporate quick, the evaporation aspect could help cure the super glue all by itself. I think acetone, dude, has anyone ever messed around with cyclohexane? It's the only stuff that I have found that flashes off even faster than acetone. It has such a huge, flash rate, and I'm pretty sure it can actually freeze. Like it can give you burns from how cold it gets when it evaporates. Other than like say pressurized gases and stuff, but cyclohexane is it's a liquid. But it evaporates so fucking fast that it's so fucking cold. It's ridiculous. So yeah, once this cures, I'll use a ribbon tool, go through, add some keys to it. Should be pretty easy. I don't think acetone works alone. Yeah, okay. Well, good job, paintbrush, built by the lowest bidder. Cures. Yeah, you're still soft. Right, that tracks. Pressure from the depth of the sub cruising the water to pump, yeah. Probably just basically boiling the water by moving through it because of the depth that they operate in. Just wanted to contribute a weird chemistry fact to the conversation. Hey, I love chemistry facts, weird or otherwise. That was fun. I'm gonna have to turn that silicone explosion into a slow motion TikTok or something like that, guys. It's gonna have to happen. Whatever. I'm sure if we were on a different topic, you'd think of something else that you know. We all know random chemistry stuff. I was too busy playing with my PSP in high school. I never even went to high school chemistry. Anything I've learned has just been because I wanted to know, you know? Brother, how are you? We haven't seen each other. Dude, Dr. State, long time no see, man. Redeemed my message.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Forgotten me. I would never forget you, dude. You were hanging out with me at the beginning. But I'm actually about to head off. I'm sorry, dude. You just showed up. Yeah, you used to hang out more in YouTube chat, though, right, man? Don't do the YouTube streaming thing. Not yet. We got to build up the YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you guys, you want to help me out, go over to YouTube. I post my past streams there. Go give me a follow or subscribe or a like or whatever you feel like donning me with. It'd be awesome. Gonna bounce to get dinner started. Much love to all. Yeah, you too. Thank you. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. And Dr. Stay, thank you for stopping by either way, even though I'm jumping off. It was great to see you even for half a second. Go join the Discord. Go sub and follow on YouTube, guys. Go do all the things. I will catch up with you all on Tuesday. Hopefully, I might even have fiberglass on these molds by that point. So fingers crossed. Otherwise, everyone enjoy the rest of their weekend, and I'll catch up with y'all later. Peace.